Hello, everyone, and welcome to Friday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the Uptrend.com. In the pre-market this morning, stock index futures are currently trading below fair value. Dow futures currently down 150 points. Of course, yesterday was not a good day for the market, so we're seeing some fall through to the downside this morning. That could change with some economic numbers coming out in the pre-market. I guess retail sales and industrial production are the ones that the market's going to watch, so keep an eye out for those. Now, the week so far, we've got the VIX down on the week, down a little over 4%, so no change in trend there. The TSX is up over 1% on the week. A lot of that has to do with Shopify, and we're currently trading above 25,000 for the first time. Now, we talked about big round numbers. The TSX isn't really traded that much. There's not a lot of people actually making money off that number. So it's other numbers that add up to the 25,000 that the market watches a lot more. So yay, we get to pop the cork and drink some champagne that the TSX is now up over 25,000. Now, on the other hand, the S&P 500 is down slightly on the week, a little over 0.75%. The NASDAQ 100 is down a little over 1%. The Russell 2000, which made a new high this week, is down 2.61%. Semiconductors, looking at the semiconductor index, we're down over 5% on the week. Still on a weekly buy signal. That hasn't changed just yet. And then the price of gold is down $121.90. We've got gold stocks looking at the XAU down over 7%, nearly 8% on the week. That's a weekly sell signal. The price of crude oil is down $1.69 on the week. Now, crude oil is still looking rather bearish. We made a high back in 2023. This year, we've made a series of lower highs and a lower low. Now, if you look at that lower low, it's still a little higher than this low from back in late 2023. So we'll be watching that closely to see if that breaks down. But we are trading slightly higher in the pre-market coming into Friday morning. Now, the bond market continues to sell off and bond yields continue to move higher. A little pullback yesterday, but the trend is still to the upside. Then, of course, currencies with the U.S. dollar index continuing to move higher. It's putting downward pressure on everyone else. There's the euro, the Japanese yen, the British pound, and the Canadian dollar all trading lower against the U.S. dollar. Looking at the S&P 500, the $600 level, we still haven't punched through it. We were down yesterday. We're down a little in the pre-market this morning. So we're now looking for a close on Friday below $587.44. We do have a new early warning signal on our daily panic zone chart, so just be aware of that. And we're trying to hold support at 593.75. We closed just below that at 593.35. And you can see our next target to the downside and a nice open gap there. So we'll have to see if the market wants to go after that gap. We are currently well above all the moving averages. But last week, notice that we found support at the 50-day moving average. So if we do pull back, of course, the market will be watching that level very closely. Now, as the new president continues to make cabinet choices, some of those are ruffling the feathers of investors. And yesterday, we saw a lot of stocks in the healthcare sector sell off. The healthcare ETF has been in a downtrend for a while now. It peaked in late August and has been making a series of lower highs and lower lows ever since. And what do you know? Yesterday, we made a lower low. The pharmaceutical ETF rolled over yesterday. It's back on a sell signal, joining the biotechs, which generated a sell signal on Wednesday. And the biotechs were down over 3% yesterday. So there's Agilent trading down to the previous low. We had a new low yesterday for Amgen. We saw a new low for Baxter on Thursday, a new low for Biogen. Then we saw Charles River roll over back on a sell signal. We had a new low on Thursday for Johnson & Johnson. Eli Lilly was down over 3% yesterday, heading back down to those recent lows. Then we had Merck down just slightly on the day, but as you can see, Merck has not been doing well of recent. Then Moderna was down 5.62% on Thursday, continuing the losses that we've seen over the past couple of months. Then Pfizer made a new low for this move. We saw a new low for Regeneron on Thursday. Next up, we're going to look at the world of commodities, and we have no trend changes from Thursday's trading action. We did have crude oil and gasoline trade up, while natural gas traded lower. Looking for a close on Friday below $12.98 to give us a new sell signal for the natural gas ETF. Canadian energy stocks were up over 2.25% yesterday, being led higher by Imperial Oil, which was the big winner on the TSX, followed by Suncor, and then we had Canadian Natural Resources up nearly 2.5%. We need a close on Friday above $48.16 to give us a buy signal there. U.S. energy stocks continued to move higher on Thursday. Looking at the metals, it was an inside day for copper. Copper stocks moved up on the day, but not above the previous day's high. We had the GLD make a new low yesterday. We had U.S. Gold stocks on the GDX make a new low before closing slightly higher on the day. Again, not above the previous day's high. Now, looking at the Canadian listed iShares for the gold sector, the XGD, we made a new low and closed slightly higher, but again, not above the previous day's high. And just as an example here, the iShares for the TSX Global Gold Index are trying to hold the 200-day moving average. We dipped below it yesterday before coming back, and it'll be interesting to see if this ETF can continue to hold the 200-day moving average. Looking at the price of silver, it made a new low before recovering slightly yesterday, and that's exactly what the silver miners did as well. Now, last up this morning, Apple's back on a buy signal as of Thursday's close. It's a little late to the table and kind of concerned about this buy signal. Apple is currently trading down in the pre-market this morning, so if it's trading down more than $2 in the pre-market, I might wave that off. Obviously, investors are not that excited about Apple right now, or they wouldn't have waited this long to get back in. But here we are. We're back on a buy signal, and if we are open more than being down over $2, I would take that buy signal. Looking at Trump Media, we're still on a sell signal here. No change in trend for Trump Media. We need a close above 35.80 on Friday to give us a buy signal. And Tesla was down yesterday. There's rumors the U.S. government's going to take away the subsidy for electric vehicles, and that's put downward pressure on all the stocks in this sector. Okay, folks, that is all for Friday morning. Stock index futures are still about the same level that they were when I started this presentation, so no change there, but we do have those economic numbers coming out later in the morning. You have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend, and if you're a member, next time you'll hear my voice is on Sunday, and at that time we'll take a look at the weekly charts. Otherwise, I'll be back on Monday, and we'll take a look at the most actively traded stocks from Friday's trading action.